Good morning and welcome back, boys and girls, to the Bocketts Farmyard classroom with me, Farmer Hannah. Now, today we're going to venture outside into the kitchen garden because there's something very important that we need to talk about. Plants. And I love plants. They have a huge role to play in life and they are very important to the environment. We need them, you need them, everybody needs them to survive. Now, plants, no matter how small they are mighty, and we'll go through the role of what they do a little later on. But there's one key job that's very important. They produce oxygen. Can you say that with me? Oxygen, and it's what we breathe. So with me today, take a nice big deep breath in. Perfect. I think we're ready to head outside. Let's go. So here we are up in the kitchen garden and it's a gorgeous day today. The sun is shining and the plants are going to love that. Now, if you remember from the farming year, springtime is a time for sowing seeds. Now, plants can grow all year round, but they do much better in the sun. So we'll sow the seeds now, and over the next few months, the plants will grow, ready to be harvested later in the year. So let's go and have a look at what's growing at the moment. Come on. Now, I wonder if any of you recognise what this is. This is rhubarb. Now, it's still got a little way to go. The stalks need to get taller and the leaves need to get bigger. So it'll be ready to be harvested in the next couple of months. Now, rhubarb is fantastic in crumble. Have any of you tried rhubarb crumble? It's one of my favourites. Now, I wonder if anyone recognises this particular plant. This is asparagus, and it does really well in a sandy soil. Can you see? A nice damp sandy soil, and the asparagus grows really well. Now, this is ready to harvest, so it will be on our plates in the next few days. I wonder what we have here. Now, this, it says, is the onion patch, but those don't look like onions to me. Now, that's because the onion is underground. An onion is what we call a root vegetable. So the onion's hidden, and all we can see are these lovely leaves. Now, this is where we need smell-o-vision again. They smell wonderful. These were planted in November last year and will be ready to harvest in June or July. This is the garlic bed. Now, much like the onions, I can't see any garlic here, but that's because the garlic's underground. Garlic is also a root vegetable, just like the onions are. Now, if we take a look behind me in the bed here, we can also see lettuce, globe artichoke and rainbow chard. Now, we also have a herb garden here in the kitchen garden, and herbs are great. You can use your senses to try and work out what they are. So by looking at it and using sight, I can see if I know it that way. I can touch it, feel it, smell it, and even taste it. Oh yes, the thyme tastes great. As well as all the lovely fruit and vegetables growing in the garden, we've also got some beautiful spring flowers. I wonder if any of you know what these are. These are tulips. They smell beautiful. Now, on your worksheets, there are two boxes. One box for drawing a fruit and one for drawing a vegetable. So give that a go and post them on our Facebook page. I'd love to see them. Now, plants, just like the flowers behind me, and also the fruits and vegetables, all have one thing in common. They start from a seed or a bulb, and they grow to become those beautiful plants we've seen. Now, there are a few things a plant needs to grow. They need air, they need water, they need sunlight, they need food from the soil, and they need a suitable temperature, so not too hot and not too cold. Some plants grow in the soil, like here, and some grow in water, like water lilies on a pond. Now let's have a closer look at the plants. Now we'll take the tulips here. There are different parts of the plant and they all do different jobs. Now there's a very important part of the plant that's hidden in the soil underground. Do you know what they're called? They're called roots, and their important job is to absorb all the food and the goodness from the soil to help the plant grow. Now the stem is this part here, and it helps transport the water from the roots all the way up to the flower. Now the flower's got an important role as well. It attracts all the bugs, like bees, that come and pollinate this flower to this flower, and then this flower. So the flower's got an important job to attract those insects. Now, before I forget, the leaves have got a very important job. These leaves are full of nutrients and they absorb the sunlight to help make more food and energy for the plant to grow big and strong. They're beautiful, aren't they? How about next time that you pass a plant, you stop and have a look and see if you can identify the different parts of that plant. Plants are really important because they feed both humans and animals, but depending on what the plant is, we eat different parts of it. So with rhubarb, we eat the stems. The globe artichoke, we eat the flowers. The lettuce, we eat the leaves. And with onions, we eat the bulb. Let's plant a seed together today. Now I've got everything I need in front of me here, starting with the seed. Now you might recognise this. It's a dried sunflower head, and all of these here are individual little seeds. So we're going to plant some of those. I need my pot, I've got my soil, and I've got my watering can. So let's get started. Soil is really important to help support and feed the seed. I'll make a little hole in the middle. Now the seeds of the sunflower here, if you gently pull them apart, they come off, just like that. You might recognise those. So I'll take one, pop it on top, and just give it a gentle push in. The seed then needs water. Got my watering can? We'll give it a water. Now we'll look after this seed, make sure it gets plenty of sunlight, air, and it's kept at a reasonable temperature. Sunflower will come into flower in about July. Now if our little plant here doesn't get enough sunlight or water, it might die. So we'll look after it really well. What happens if we don't plant the seeds? Well, plants do it for themselves. Some plants drop their seeds on the floor. Some burst open in the wind, and the wind carries the seeds elsewhere. Some plants also produce fruits and berries, which animals, like deer or birds, will then eat, carry away with them, and then poo the seeds on the floor somewhere else. Some seeds also have hooks on them, which get caught on the animal's fur or feathers. The animal then transports the seeds somewhere else as well. Isn't that pretty cool? Now, soil is really important, as we said earlier. Now, the plants need it for their roots to grow deep down into it. Now, think of the roots a bit like straws, sucking up all of the goodness, that food and the water that they need to help them grow nice and healthy. But what else lives in the soil? Should we take a look? Can you see? Look at it! The long wiggly worm. Can you see him? Now, he does a great job at keeping the soil healthy. He'll dig around and keep it aerated. That's a long word, isn't it? Aerated, but it keeps the air fresh in the soil. He's doing a great job. Earthworms also play a super part in breaking up grass and leaves to put all the natural goodness back into the soil. There's something else that we have lots of at the farm that we can put into the ground, and that's poo or manure. And manure is great because it's all the natural goodness from the plants the animals have eaten, gone through their body, out the other end, and that can go back onto the fields and the soil to help the plants grow. Find a plant and have a think. Is that plant fully grown, or does it still need some time to grow? Now, it's almost time for me to say goodbye today, but before I do, let's have a little recap of some of the points that we've learnt up here in the kitchen garden. Now, if you can remember, test yourselves at home with which plants we eat the leaves of, which plant we eat the stems of that was really good in crumble, and which plant we eat the bulb of. Also have a think about what those plants need to grow. Things like the sunlight and the water. And also think about the different parts of the plants. Test yourselves at home with what the bits underground are called, what the bit is that grows out of the ground is called, and what that beautiful part of the plant is on top. So until next time, boys and girls, I'm going to say goodbye today. So from me, cheerio.